age should complementary foods be introduced apart from breast milk, and why that timing is so critical?
So complementary feeding, as I said, it should start at 6 months. So we provide exclusive breastfeeding till 6 months. But at the age of 6 months, what happens is the nutrient requirement of the baby starts increasing. And breast milk, or the nutrient and energy provided through breast milk, is not enough for the rapid growth that the baby has from 6 months onwards. So breastfeeding can take care of like 60% of baby's requirement from 6 months to 12 months, and only 40% of baby's requirement from 12 to 24 months. So where will the other gap come from? And that should come from the food that we'll provide to the baby at 6 months of age and onwards. So this energy gap increases, as well as other nutrient gap also increases, like iron, vitamin A, several other nutrients are not enough in the breast milk from 6 months onwards for the baby. And hence, that starting point of 6 months is very, very important. Also, the baby's digestive systems now start maturing and are mature enough to begin, digest other food or a range of foods that we provide from the outside. And hence, it is very important to start at 6 months. Now, there can be an argument that what if we start little early? It should benefit more. That's how people think. But what has been seen is there is not much of advantage if we start earlier. In fact, sometimes it becomes difficult for the baby to digest what is being provided if we start early. It is likely that we'll provide low nutrient diet if we start early, and then there is a risk of infections, illness if we start early. There could be another argument. What will happen if we start late, little late, like at 7 months or 8 months? Again, there are disadvantages linked to that. Like if child might not receive enough nutrients if we start late based on the child's requirement. There will be slowing of growth and development. Again, there will be chances of illnesses and deficiencies, and more pronouncedly the malnutrition. So it is very, very important to start at 6 months. I would also spend some time on what should be done during this complementary feeding period, which is very, very critical, and very, very critical in the first 6 months, 6 to 12 months window, because a lot of changes happen in the infant's maturation during that period. And accordingly, a lot of changes are required in the food that is being fed and the way it is being fed. So it is very important to understand that, and I would spend some more time on that now. Now, as I said, timely introduction of foods is required at 6 months, and there are 3 or 4 dimensions to that food that come in picture, and very, very important to understand. One is consistency, 2 is frequency, 3 is quantity, and 4 is variety or diversity that we call it. And we'll unpack these 4 for the benefit of audience, and we should really master these 4 and help mothers and families to master these 4 if we want our children to grow and develop properly in this period of 6 to 24 months. Number 1, consistency. As I said, stomach size is something that keeps on increasing as the child grows and ages. So we had seen that by 1 month of age, the stomach size was the size of an egg, or it's like around 100 ml or so. But between 6 to 12 months, it becomes like 180 or 200 ml. Again, it's not a big size. What size do we have as an adult? Our size or volume that our stomach can fit in is like 1,000 ml. Of course, it can be more for more than 1,000 ml also, because it's a stretchable kind of a bag which can stretch itself a lot. But in the childhood, it is around 180 to 200 ml. So the food volume that can get into this bag in the stomach can also be only 180 to 200 ml, and it cannot be more than that. So how do we provide enough energy and nutrition within that volume is something that is very, very important. And for that, consistency is required. The thickness of food, consistency is basically the thickness of food. If the food is thick, then it will be more dense in terms of energy and nutrients. And how thick should be the food? And that is required to be understood. So if we take the food on a spoon, so imagine this is a spoon. If we take this food on a spoon and if we tilt this spoon, it should not fall immediately. If it falls immediately, then it is not enough thick for child to have enough nutrients. So it should be that thick. Of course, we can start with porridge or gruel, but should not be very thin, and gradually increase the consistency to make it slurry, so that it is useful for the child to get enough density of nutrients. So child, as I said, between 6 to 24 months goes through different phases. So we can break that into 3 phases. So 6 to 9 months is a phase. Then there is a 9 to 12 months is another phase. And then 12 to 24 months is the third phase. Now, 6 to 9 months, we can provide mashed food, which is, thick, but child can swallow it. In 9 to 12, something happened in developmental aspect as well. There is something called as pincer grip that appears at 9 months of age. Pincer grip is the grip with which we hold the pencil. So similarly, child is able to hold things through the thumb and the index finger. That is called pincer grip. And hence, we can provide some chopped foods which child himself or herself can hold and chew it, so make it soft, but still child can hold it in terms of pieces in the hand. So that's how the consistency should change by the age of 9 to 12 months. And then 12 to 24 months, it could be mashed, chopped, and combination, based on as we eat at home, and taking it gradually towards the home food in the way we eat at home. Now, this is about consistency. It is getting longer, but I would really want to spend some more time on this. On frequency and quantity. Now, again, these 3 groups, they required 3, different levels of quantities and frequency during that age group. So 6 to 9 months, we say start with 2 to 3 spoons and increases gradually towards the end of 12 months to a half bowl of a food every meal. Half bowl. The bowl size is basically 250 ml. So half of it is like 120 to 130 ml. Provide it every meal. Child should eat at least that 120, 130 ml. 2 to 3 times a day is the frequency. Adding 1 or 2 snacks and continuing with breastfeeding as per demand, and provide all the fruits, vegetables, green leafy vegetables in cooked form as part of this. Do not add salt or sugar in this period. There is no requirement of adding salt or free salt or sugar from top. Your child gets everything through these foods, provided the foods are diverse enough. 9 to 12 months, give half a bowl of these 250 ml and increase it slowly. Also add on 1 or 2 snacks throughout the day and continue breastfeeding as per demand at least 4 times per day and night. And 12 to 24 months, increase the quantity further to a 3/4 of that 250 ml bowl, provide it 5 times a day and continue breastfeeding. Last point on this is variety or the diversity that I mentioned. And then there are 8 food groups that are defined. I can enlist them. So breast milk is one food group. Grains, roots, tubers, which we consume in large quantities, another food groups, wherein you get all your wheat, chapatis, rice falls in this group. Pulses or the dals, the beans, the lentils, peas is the third group. Nuts and seeds also fall here. Milk and milk products, so are any other milk, curd, paneer, etc. falls here in the fourth group. Flesh foods or the non-vegetarian foods like meat, fish, chicken falls in the fifth group. There is a separate sixth group for egg. It doesn't fall in the fifth group that I mentioned. So its egg is a separate sixth group. Vitamin A rich fruits and vegetables is the seventh group, wherein all orange colored fruits and vegetables fall in. and then all other fruits and vegetables. These are the 8 food groups that are available for children. And what it says is every meal have at least 5 of them. So breast milk is one. So from the rest of the 7, have at least 4 of them in each of your meal, and then your meal is diverse enough to provide all nutrients that are required for optimal growth and development. So we saw all those 4, and we really need to teach these to the mothers. It's not about resources, it's about understanding this, helping mothers practice this, and incorporate all this into their daily practice. Then only we'll be able to really provide enough complementary foods and feeding to the children. Last point, responsive feeding. So it's not about the child should be fed as per child's requirement and understanding child's hunger cues. This is to avoid under as well as overfeeding. We shouldn't be feeding children as per clock and timings, but as per child's needs and responding to the child's hunger cues. Uh, uh, if we are able to really identify those hunger cues in time and respond appropriately, then it happens like a programming happens in a computer, wherein child will throw those cues and you are able to respond positively to those cues. I will just enlist few hunger cues as well as satiety cues, which are very, very important to understand. uh, so early signs of hunger, you will see that child licking their lips, stirring in the sleep, sucking on hands or feet or tongues or even the clothes, opening and closing the mouth frequently, or turning head towards any touch on the face, making some murmuring noise. These are all early hunger cues, and identifying them and responding to them positively is very, very critical. What we understand is those late signs or cues for hunger, when child starts bobbing the head, or agitated, or making body movements very agitatingly, or even crying. Remember, crying is the last sign of hunger. A lot of time we respond only when the child is crying, and that's where the problem is. So we need to understand the early hunger cues and provide positive response in terms of feeding during that. Similarly, there are cues for satiety or fullness, and we should stop there. So it's not that we have been asked that we should give 250 ml, so we should force 250 ml and do overfeeding for the child. That should not happen. So what are those some of the signs of fullness? uh, uh, the child will start and stop feeding often. So you should understand that now child is kind of towards the fullness. Child will unlatch if child is being breastfed. Child will slow down. Child will fall asleep. Child will get distracted easily, close the mouth and turn the head away from the food. So understand that it's the sign of satiety and fullness, and then we should stop feeding the child. It's very important, especially in the context of overweight and obesity that is increasing nowadays. We should not also overfeed the children, and hence understand these cues and uh, feed accordingly.